Breaking news. This is breaking news on Dunawe Ngombe, which is the biggest agricultural platform in Namibia. As most of Namibian farmers would know what has been happening in the northern part of the country, and that has been lung illness, lung sickness. Now let's get into it. I did some research on it. I got information. Let me represent to you guys. You guys know I'm never writing solo here with my. You guys know I'm never writing solo. I'm here with my trusted notebook. Let's get into it. Namibia bans cattle movement after lung sickness outbreak in the northern communal areas. A complete ban on the movement of cattle has come into immediate effect in the 4 areas in the Kavango West region of Namibia, following an outbreak of the contagious bovine Tehran pneumonia, aka lung sickness. According to a statement by the Namibian government, the disease commonly known as lung sickness was first detected in the Nakamangoro and Musese area. I hope I didn't butcher those names, forgive me if I did. What is lung sickness? Lung sickness is caused by a mycoplasma, mycodils, bacteria that attacks the lungs of a susceptible animal, and in Africa was known to cause greater loss of cattle than any other disease. This was because it was highly contagious and had a mortality rate of more than 50%. Lung sickness was a controlled disease in Namibia, and strict control measures had been put in place with immediate effect. This includes a ban on movement of animals, roadblocks at strategic points, and the deployment of surveillance teams in the affected areas to determine the extent of the outbreak. All cattle affected areas would be vaccinated against the disease in the next few weeks, and all farmers were strongly urged to take their cattle to vaccinate the animals. Meanwhile, Peter Gauss, president of the Namibian Agricultural Union, NAU, Peter Gauss, president of the Agriculture Union of Namibia, NAU, Namibian Agricultural Union, said that although the outbreak was a great source of concern, it has been fully contained in the northern communal areas, and no cases were present to the south of the Namibian veterinary corridor. We know that the veterinary authorities are very hands-on with the process of containing the disease in the NCA where it is an endemic. NAU nonetheless is keeping an eye on the matter because of the threat the disease poses to the Namibian livestock chain value, he said. And that's the nonsensical part of it, because these people are very quick to jump when it's illnesses and look what he said, because of the veterinary corridor. Go watch my videos where I spoke about that red line and what I think about that red line. You know, it is sad that this disease is broken out. I was watching a clip where a farmer was talking about it, and he says that a person brought in cattle from Angola and the cattle affected people, but when they had called out to the veterinary authorities, the veterinary authorities took their time to come. Even when vaccinations, I believe they started vaccinations recently, but prior to that, they were struggling to get vaccinations. The farmers were complaining, and some of them were even saying they are willing to travel to Botswana to go buy the medication because the medication was sold. Botswana is the one who produces the vaccination for the lung disease. While those farmers are at the mercy of that, and I believe they started recently to start inoculating after the farmers went on television and complained about it. So I would urge my fellow northern communal land farmers to understand this. We're on our own. We need to stop this movement of livestock from. We need to stop this movement of livestock from outside our country, bringing them into the country, because it's causing outbreaks of diseases. If you want to bring in cattle from outside Namibia, and probably you got cattle from your uncle or your father gave you cattle, build a quarantine facility where those animals can be kept. Let them stay there for 21 days and monitor them for 21 days and notify the vet so the vet can come pull blood samples before you allow them to be released into the community and also into the other cattle that are kept within the area, and you start affecting people's cattle. We need to stop this, because this is part of the reason why many farmers who are not from the northern part of the country, from the NCA, would debate that red line should remain there because of incidences such as this: lung disease, lumpy skin, foot and mouth, and all these illnesses breaking out. I have advocated, if you watch my previous video, which I'll probably put the link, which I'll probably put at the end of this video, you could probably watch that, where I've spoken and said, we must fix what's happening in the northern communal area if we ever want to see that red line go. Because I read an article where these colleagues are calling for our fellow brother on this side, who are fellow black farmers this side, to go and fight with us, who are fighting to have this red line removed under the court case that the affirmative repositioning civil movement brought to court. They are busy calling for our fellow brethren to go and fight with us to prevent the removal of the red line. But on the end of the day, this is not a racial issue. This is about bread and butter issues. This is about people wanting to have a good life, people wanting also to benefit from the meat economy that is a big economy in this country that brings about one point they said 6 billion, one time they say 60 billion. It brings lots of money into the economy. But the question is, how is it benefiting farmers in the northern communal areas? And we as the farmers in the northern communal areas must also take responsibility and limit such outbreaks and limit such situations where cattle are coming in from another country into our country. We do not know their vaccination status, or buying cattle from Angola, because I can't really tell people to stop, because I know we have families across the border. If you are going to buy a bull from your uncle in Angola, or buy a bull from your uncle in Botswana, or buy a bull or a cow from your uncle in Zambia, at least ask him to give you a vaccination certificate to prove that this animal has been vaccinated for whatever. Or if he does not have, buy the medication yourself. When you go to that village, go and inoculate that bull that you want to buy. After inoculating it, wait 28 or 23 or wait a period before you bring it in after inoculation to see if the medication you have inoculated it has helped it to be able to fend off illnesses, rather than just recklessly bringing them in. Because now what happens is you are giving these individuals who are busy fighting in the court case to remove the red line, you're giving them more ammunition to say the red line should remain. I mean, the veterinary corridor should remain, because these people just had a lung sickness outbreak recently. We are putting the entire country at risk. So I'm saying, my fellow farmers in the northern communal areas, let's do better, let's improve, let's take responsibility for the environments in the areas we find ourselves, and buy in. Let's stop this moving cattle across the border, bringing in cattle without even crossing them through the right channels. Let's make sure that all our animals are vaccinated at all times, so we prevent disease outbreaks and we can have this red line one day removed. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you very much and bye for now.